Hello. In this video, we will be upgrading the memory of an Asus K50i laptop. Originally, this computer had 2GB of stock memory, which was later upgraded to 4GB using the available memory space. But it got me thinking. It would be very interesting to see if this 2009 computer would support a 4GB memory module to increase its total to 6GB of RAM. Also, if this will be supported by the system, and if it is, could we increase the system performance? Let's begin. Before we begin the process of upgrade and do a benchmark, here is a screen view of the system properties currently displaying the amount of 4GB of RAM. It's important to note that the Windows OS currently installed is a 64-bit version. If it were to be a 32-bit version, the display memory amount would have been less than the physical amount currently installed. Also, if we upgrade the memory to 6GB and is successful, the system is not going to properly display the full amount due to limitations on the 32-bit platform. Now let's proceed to open Speccy to show the complete system information. As stated before, our current OS is 64 bits as displayed here in Speccy, and our current memory installed is 4GB of double data rate 2 or DDR2 running at 332 MHz. The numbers on the brackets are CIS latency, which is the delay time between the moment a memory controller tells the memory module to access a particular memory column on a RAM module, and the moment the data from the given array location is available for the system to use. If we go here to the RAM section on the software, we see the main reason for the upgrade. As can be seen here, the system only detects one SPD module, for which is the added 2GB memory. And at the current system configuration, you can see that the physical memory available is less than 1.5 GB, or about using 69% of available physical memory, which for the current usage of this computer, that is very low amount of memory that I have available. Now, we proceed to do a benchmark of this computer using PassMark performance test software with some background resource-hungry software closed, also known as bloatware. We are going to do a test and see how good of a system we currently have. Alright, we have our score of 743.1, and we are going to use this number as our baseline since the software does not have this model previous test. Seeing here our memory test, we scored a 748.5. So how are we going to score after the upgrade? Could it be better? Could it be the same? Could it be worse? That's what we're going to find out after the upgrade. So let's proceed with the memory upgrade. And for this model computer, it's very simple. We just need to take the battery cover off and then the battery. And when you remove the battery, at the corner here in this area, there is a screw that we need to remove and 2 screws from each corner on the back side. When we remove those screws, then we slide the back cover towards you and lift it. Here we have access to all the components like the real-time clock battery, the memory, the CPU, the Wi-Fi adapter, the hard disk, and the DVD drive. To remove the memory, we push the metal tabs out to the sides and the memory will pop up at an angle. Just note that this is the same angle at which you need to install the new memory. It will not go in flat like on a desktop computer. This one goes at an angle, and that angle is very important, or the socket in which the memory goes could get broken or damaged. Another important factor about this computer is that you can see here that it has embedded memory chips. And the problem with that is that if any of these chips fail, the computer will run unstable or not at all. Another downside to this embedded memory, the speed that it runs at. For example, if it runs at 667 MHz, then it doesn't matter which kind of memory module you put in. If it's, for example, like this one, an 800 MHz module, this memory module will slow down to 667 MHz, which of course, well, it's not going to be that much, but it's always good to have that added speed. To install the memory, once again, we install it at an angle, making sure it is well inserted in the pins and pressing it down until it locks in the metal tabs. We flip the computer right up and press the power button. See if it boots up properly without issues. It is now booting into Windows, so apparently we have a successful upgrade. The system booted, and we'll see what is it. We're going to see what the system properties has for the detected amount of memory. As you can see here, we were successful. The system detected 6 GB of memory, which is great for a 2009 model computer. So now we will do a final benchmark and see if, as well as capacity, we improved speed. Alright, the test completed with a score of 404, which is lower than the baseline, but we need to take into consideration that this time I did not close the background applications as in the first test. So for next time I could probably do a bloatware closing, or close all the applications that start up when Windows start and do the test again. But looking closely here on the memory test, we gain a score of 859 in comparison with a 748 on the baseline test for memory mark, and a score of 1638 against the 1060 on the baseline. Although we lost some points in 4 memory tests, well, we need to take into account that, of course, the software was running on the background while we were performing the benchmark could also affect the test, and of course probably I'm going to do that again. So let's go back to Speccy one more time and see if we improved our usage and our performance. The first thing we noticed is the memory usage percentage got lowered by the extra capacity of the memory, and also we improved on performance, but not by a large number due to the memory still operating at 667 MHz. Even though there is not much of a difference between 667 or 800, but it's always good to have that spare 133 MHz. So, in closing, we were successful in doing the memory upgrade. We did improve the performance, not by a large margin, but for a 2009 computer which uses DDR2 is very good. And probably since we were successful in upgrading the memory of this computer, we will do more experiments with it and do more upgrades if parts are available for this. And hopefully this has been helpful or at least interesting. If you enjoyed this video, leave a comment, and if you want to see more like it, stay tuned for more. Until next time.